Same thing in the workplace. I work for this guy, I work for this guy. No, no. I work for the Lord, and the Lord put me here. Yes, you pay me. I do the job for you, but I'm here. This is my ministry. That's what it is. She's a pianist. People come in. They come in for a music lesson. That's her ministry. I have the opportunity. They know her, how she speaks, the music that she chooses, and it's a light to these people. She has an impact on these people's lives. Same thing, John, where you go, John, Brother Tom. All these, God puts us in those places as a ministry, even though the world says it's a job. If we begin to think like the world, which is just a job. And it's easy to think that way. All right, let's go to point number 2. The politics in promotions. Unfortunately, the political game is played in many promotions. People act like politics to get what they want. Let me give you an example of this in the Bible amongst Jesus' disciples. Go to Matthew chapter 20 and verse 20. You're thinking about playing politics, about promotions. And you say, well, this only happened in the Old Testament. Well, let's go to the New. All right, let's go to the New. Matthew chapter 20 and verse 20. Okay? This is a fascinating story. I heard many preachings on this place. But look at that. Matthew 20:20. Then came to him the mother of Zebedee's children with her sons, worshiping him and desiring a certain thing of him. Who's him? Jesus. Okay. And he said unto her, what wilt thou? She asked him the question, what you need? And she said unto him, grant that these my 2 sons may sit one on the right hand and the other on the left of thy kingdom. They're playing politics over here. But Jesus answered and said, ye know not what ye ask. Are ye able to drink of the cup that I shall drink of, and to be baptized with the baptism that I am baptized with? They said unto him, we are able. They have no idea what they're talking about. And he said unto them, ye shall drink indeed of my cup and be baptized with the baptism that I am baptized with, but to sit on the right hand and on the left is not mine to give, but it shall be given to them for whom is prepared of my Father. And when the 10 heard, who's the 10? His 12 disciples, 2 looking for promotions, and the other 10, they are moved with what? Against the 2 brethren. You see, playing politics in promotions, they went straight forward and they would tell Jesus about what the positions that they wanted in the kingdom. What about the other ones? You see, these politics about promotions, that happens all the time. They happen in the Bible too. So promotions, letter A, often comes to those who do the politicking. What the name is? Politicking? Politics in promotion. Letter A. So after these things, that is, after Esther has become queen, in the 7th year of Ahasuerus' reign, and before the 20th year of the reign, Haman was exalted to a position second only to the king. So we see another promotion being made right here. Okay, asked to promote Mordecai. Now you have Ahasuerus, her husband, the king, promoting Haman. But we're going to find out about this Haman and who he is. The scenery becomes, the whole thing begins to get together right here. And one by the king and one by his wife. So the son of this guy is an Agagite, Haman. Immediately we should take our minds back to 1 Samuel chapter 6 and verse 5 to 8. Talk about the background of this guy, Haman. Haman is an Agagite, and we go back to 1 Samuel chapter 5, and look what it says. Wherefore, 1 Samuel chapter 6, verse 5, wherefore you shall make images of your Amorites, and an image of your mice that mar the land, and ye shall give glory unto the God of Israel. Peradventure, he will lighten his hand from off you, and from off your gods, and from your land. Wherefore then do ye harden your hearts as the Egyptians and Pharaoh hardened their hearts, when he had wrought wonderfully among them, did they not let the people go, and they departed? Now therefore make a new cart, and take two milk kine, and on which there had come no yoke, and tie the kine to the cart, and bring them calves home from them, and take the ark of the Lord, and lay it upon the cart, and put the jewels of gold which ye return him from your trespass offerings, and coffer by the side thereof, and send it away, that it will go. So Agag, leader of the Amalekites, there has been an animosity between Israel and the Amalekites ever since Amalek attacked the Jews and robbed them before they reached Mount Sinai. Interestingly, Mordecai was from the house of Saul, and it was Saul who failed to execute King Agag. This goes back in time. Now this battle is going to be continue with the descendants, and the test is whether Mordecai will weaken as his ancestors did, like Saul did. Ironically, the term Agagite came to be used as anyone who was a bully, and this guy Haman is a bully, and is a guy that you don't want to deal with. He's the kind of guy that keeps coming at you. In fact, the Septuagint translate this Hebrew term with a Greek word, means bully right here. Haman was a bully. It's a guy like in a bullying school. You kid go to school and faces this same kid all the time. Or I get, when I was a kid, I had a bully in school. I was a kid, and this kid just kept up. He goes, tomorrow, if you want to come to school, you got to bring me $1. I look at him, I was like, this kid is huge. I'm bringing me $1. I don't have $1 to give this kid. I go home. I don't want to go to school. I'm not going to beat up in school. And I get there, and I try to ignore him, and he goes, hey, pushes me around. Where's the $1? And I was like, what do you mean $1? I thought you were playing with me. I was serious, not tomorrow, $2. I'm like, $2? I don't have $1 to give, might as well $2. And this went on all week. I was like that once to $6 and $5 on Friday. He says, Monday, if you don't bring me another, what was it, $6, you're going to die. No, I am petrified to go to school. And I'm telling my buddies, nobody wants to back me up. I'm a little guy, and here comes this guy, and I pick up a stone. In my hand, I got a little rock. I'm picking up. Hey, I was a kid, okay? And this guy comes and boom, hits me. And I was like, hey, what's the matter? Where's my money? I said, give me a chance to get the money out. And it was funny. I shouldn't say that because I'm a pastor, but anyway. He goes, where's my, I have it right here, look. And he bows in like that, and he bows up, oh, my opportunity. I hit him right in the back. I don't know if I hit him with a rock. I guess I did, because he never bothered me anymore. Good night, I tell you what, I mean, it was a nightmare all week long. I didn't want to go to school. I couldn't sleep. Yeah, I didn't have any money. You were going to ask my mom for $1. She was like, well, what do you want $1 for? It was terrible. But anyway, that's a bully. Keeps coming at you, keeps coming at you. Sometimes you got to go at him. You sit in the office, and, I know some of my friends, they sit on the, you went to public school here, just me? Public school? You sit in the principal's office. And you came out, and the situation is back the same way you left it. It's like, let's continue. I mean, name calling in the boss, right? Oh, my goodness. Anyway. Okay, so, where was I in this thing? So, what happened here is Saul, what he did, he left it going, so he kept going to the generations. So we see this, these two guys now, they don't know each other yet. But that's the backgrounds. The Bible gives the backgrounds. Ammon was a bully. The Amalekites were known for their characteristics. And we see this back in Deuteronomy chapter 25, verse 17. It says, remember what the Amalekite did unto thee, the way and when we were come forth out of Egypt. How he met thee by the way and smote thee hindmost of thee, even all that was feeble behind thee, and thou was faint and weary, and he feared not the Lord. You see, these people did a lot of harm to the Jewish people as they were coming out of Egypt. You know what? And through the ages, they kept doing the same thing. And now, they're face to face again, right now in the land of Babylon, away from Egypt, but they don't know each other yet. So the Amalekites were bullies because they did not fear God. Amalekite bully other people around because they denied the existence of God. Though they did all their things, but they did not believe in the God of Israel. So 1,000 years later, so to speak, we find his descendants, Haman, acting the same way. Even today in the workforce, we confront bullies who do not believe in God. They believe that the only method of advance is by doing to others before they do it unto you. You know, there's people like that. Their methods of promotion is force and politics. They care nothing about the golden rule, just as Saul had his Agag to confront, so we will be confronted sooner or later with a bully in the workplace, or you can be defeated by the grace. You can only be defeated by the grace of God. I tell you, I don't go get in a fist fight with people in a workplace because of a promotion. But I tell you something, I have prayed people out of certain positions, and the Lord was right there. There was a man in our department, he never bothered me, but he was not a nice person. He was very oppressive. There was a Christian man, he's with the Lord today. He came to me, he said, I am praying the Lord would take that man out of here. I'm praying for his salvation, but I'm praying the Lord to move him out. You know what? The Lord moved him out. And in that day, he was very angry because he didn't know why he was being moved out. And he came to me, he's like, I'm praising the Lord today because I couldn't take it anymore. Some people can be very, very oppressive in the workplace. You see, promotions many times come to those who like politics, and a lot of politics in the workplace. I don't know if it ever happened to you. Ever been in the workplace and somebody try to take your position and you find that person talking trash about you to your supervisors? And you listening? That happened to me one time. There's a supervisor here and they're working here, and my job is over there, and this guy is talking all kinds of bad stuff about my job, and I'm right behind them listening to the whole thing. And I'll listen for a good 10 minutes over there like this. Just looking, I was in disbelief, just kind of. And when they turned around and saw me, they're like, where am I going? You want to get away? They want to run, because they were so surprised I was there. So I look at the supervisor, ignored the whole conversation, and I said, did you find anything wrong about my job? And he goes, no. I said, thank you, sir. That's what I said. I said, anything else? I said, thank you, sir. Because at that point, I didn't even know what to say. I was shocked. So number 3, let's look at the last one. Promotion often goes to people's heads. Promotion often goes to people's heads. Look at chapter 3, next chapter, Esther 3, verse 2. And all the king's servants that were in the king's gate bow and reverence Haman. Haman got promoted by whom? King Ahasuerus. And Haman is the guy that walks around like this. And people bow down to him. Remember, Mordecai got promoted. Mordecai didn't have people do that to him. See the difference? Okay? Look, it said, for the king had so commanded concerning him, but Mordecai bowed not, nor did him reverence. Ooh. See, Mordecai got promoted. Haman got promoted. Everybody's bowing down to Haman. Mordecai passes by Haman and said, I ain't going to bow down to you. Who you think you are? He's just a person like I am. Then the king's servants which were in the king's gate said to Mordecai, why transgressest thou the king's commandment? Now it came to pass, when they spake daily unto the gate, and he hearkened not unto them, that they told Haman to see whether Mordecai's matter would stand, for he had told them that he was a Jew. Oof. So at the gate right here, he said something he shouldn't have said, but he did. He did. So it is not that Jews are too stubborn to bow down to anybody else. That is Mordecai's issue. It's not the issue right here. There's a number of examples in the Old Testament where examples of Jews who just did bow down to others. The issue here is that bowing down to Haman was commanded. People didn't do out of respect. The king said, you are to bow down. It was like pressed on the people like a law. And when a law is making, what happened to laws? People break it. You say, well, I never break the law. Yes, you were guilty of breaking the law today. Did you speed today? Okay, so you're guilty of breaking the law. Okay, so that's what happens here. So even, like I said, even Israelites practiced this custom. Jacob bowed down to Esau when he wanted his favor in Genesis chapter 23. David bowed down to Jonathan in order to express his friendship and kindness to him in 1 Samuel chapter 20. So it is not yet that the Jews are too stubborn, like I said, to bow down to anybody else. Is that Mordecai was doing that. There are numbers of examples, like I said, in the Old Testament. The issue is that bowing down was a command. The fact that the king had to command people to bow down to Haman intimidates to us that this man was not very well respected. Indeed, one can see what type of man Haman is in the next chapters ahead, is by the way he responded when he was not honored. Haman had let authority go over his head. Haman had become a deity on his own, in his own mind. So hence bowing down to Haman was something that he didn't like. You know, some people like this. They get a promotion and they think they're it. And you cannot even talk to that. You perceive that person, what happened to that person? You know, because they let the promotion get to their heads, they changed. Listen, you got to be this. Listen, I'll be honest with you. I ran my dad's business. I had my own business. I supervised a whole company at one time. And let me tell you this, I was always the same person. I treat people with respect and dignity for who they were. And they produced. But when people go and get these promotions and they got over their heads, you know what? That's what happened to many people. Even their own personality changes. And you know what? When they do that, they look down on others. I'm better than you. Haman is one of those guys. To ask Mordecai to bow down to Haman is like asking Daniel to pray to the king or asking the 3 Hebrew children to bow down to Nebuchadnezzar's statue. See, there's something that they were not going to do. Mordecai could not submit to this demand. It was made law, and this guy did not deserve these things. His refusal precipitated some irritating among the troops right here. Some of the king's servants came to Mordecai and asked him why. So what's the big deal? Just bow down to the guy. Some people, it doesn't matter where the wind goes, they go right with the wind. See, sometimes people allow promotions to go up to their heads. They assume the position of deity and struck around demanding that people obey or else. Let me tell you, I always call a police officer an officer. That's who he is. I respect that position. What is he doing? He's upholding the law. He's not the law. Because when he thinks he's the law, he's already wrong. He's trying to force things his way because he thinks he's the law. No, you got to do what is right. He's upholding the law. Somebody made the law, put the law, come to law, and now he's upholding. He represents the law. Not I am the law. You feel what I'm saying here? It's like a supervisor. What do? I am this position. This is what I do. Don't let it go over your head to a point that you think that everybody got to bow down to you just because you are this person. It went over your head. And sometimes people do that because they think they can make people work faster or better. And what happens is people quit and people work less many times. You don't want people complaining in your place, if you're a place of work, complaining about the administration and what they do to you. People have a tendency to want to leave. So, Let's go to number 4 as our last point tonight. Often those who are promoted cannot handle it. Look what it says in verse 5. And when Haman saw that Mordecai bowed not, nor did reverence, then was Haman full of wrath. This guy was about to explode. And he thought scorn to lay hands on Mordecai alone, for they had shown him the people of Mordecai. Wherefore Haman sought to destroy all the Jews that were thought the whole kingdom of Ahasuerus, even the people of Mordecai. Now, interesting right here. He had a problem with how many people? One. And he didn't try to understand this guy. That's good leadership. All right? You have a problem with, listen, how many leadership may be? If you don't agree, okay, that's I understand. You have a problem with one worker, you sit them down, away from everybody else, and you talk with the person. What can we do? What can you produce more? What can I help you with? You have to understand, besides the person working for you, he's still a human being. You need to respect him. You're not better than him. This guy had an issue with this Mordecai, and instead of trying to understand the man, he's full of wrath. He's angry. He's mean. He's ready to do something harmful to him. But he goes further than that. Because he's a Jew, now he's thinking about killing all the Jews. So what the other people got to do with this? You see what happens here? He's thinking about one guy. Instead of trying to fix the situation, he begins to think evil of this person. He's full of anger. And on top of that, oh, not just you, I'm going to kill all of you. And you know what? That's what he's going about to do. The next chapter we're going to, he proceeds and gets the king behind him. He wants to annihilate all the Jews. Because of one thing that you cannot handle. Some people cannot handle certain positions. Meaning, probably in the workplace you heard, that guy should not be in that position. Or that woman should not be in that position. That thing is over their head. They don't know. They don't understand the job. And a lot of times, the people that say it right, they don't mean anything mean to them. They just understand, they know that. It's what we see right here. So what causes reaction? Wrath and anger. So the word translated anger right here is a word, I'm translating wrath right here, is he's fuming. He's about to explode right here. That's what he's doing. So sometimes, I'm going to close with this, it is for our advantage not to receive promotions, especially when we are too immature to handle. And this guy Haman, I believe, was very immature to get in the position that he was. If the above 5 principles are true, what is a Christian's response to a promotion? I understand what it is to be a worker. I understand what it is to be in a position of leadership because I've been there. Is one thing that I learned. Always treat people with respect. Always. And then you never go wrong. You never go wrong. Always treat people with respect, regardless of where you are. In moments when we sense that, I conclude with this, that promotion has been mishandled, we must remember that promotion does not come from the east, from the west, or south. The book of Psalm chapter 75 verse 6 says, for promotion cometh neither from the east nor the west, nor from the south, but God is the judge. He putteth down one and sitteth up another. See what God says? All promotion is from God. Shall we pray? Heavenly Father, thank you, Lord, for this study tonight on promotion. Maybe we understand how we treat others in the workplaces. And even if we are people that watch over people that in those positions, that help us, Lord, respect